like when you only sell 25 units in Toronto in a whole month,
Pre-con. Yeah.
like this is so bad. I don't think people
Nothing.
really realize. I didn't expect to be this busy, TK, but holy
What does
gee.
that mean? So I heard from somebody at the bank this week that they had 40% increase in pre-approvals for the month of November, meaning that there's a bunch of buyers going to the bank right now saying, "Hey, I'm planning on buying." What does that mean, Daryl?
What does that
What
mean?
does that mean? What happens when the buyers want to buy houses again?
What happens?
Are we going to be ready for that?
I feel like from the conversations I'm having that at least from the builder end they'll be ready, but I don't know how the labor will work out at that point. I mean, if you look at the numbers,
You're talking
TK,
about the wrong market. You're talking about the pre-con market, which is gone.
gone,
Gone. I
beyond
was at a,
gone.
I was at a condo today. This is on Jarvis downtown,
You can't
and the
even
people
say that
bought it.
word anymore.
The people bought it for. You can't say Jarvis. Is that racist? Am I
No, you can't
racist?
say condo
Condo.
because
Oh, sorry.
who the
I thought
fuck wants to
that
hear
Jarvis
about
might have been
this?
racist too. Anyways,
Uh,
not. I didn't say Dundas. All right, come on. Um,
Jesus. Oh, Jarvis is
condo.
probably bad too. Yeah.
820 something thousand dollars they paid. $700,000 mortgage. Listed right now at 560. No offers for like a year. Or not
At
even a year, like 6 months,
560.
560. So now I'm going in there and I'm like, you guys aren't gonna
Oh
like the
man.
news that I got to give you here. And it's like mortgages at 700. I'm like,
Yeah.
who told you to close? What?
Who gave
Whose
you that
advice was it?
mortgage?
Who is it? It's a funny situation, but the who said that this was a good idea? Why don't you just let the developer take your deposit? You wait for the building to finish. They sell the unit. There's damages. They sue you. You try to settle. You see what you can fight for. Like you don't have to go through all that stress. You don't have to close. You don't have to pay interest. You don't have to deal with all the shenanigans. You don't have to wait to sell the bloody thing, which takes forever. It's already been for them at least 6 months, maybe 9 months. Market's gone down since then. So like you probably could have gotten off a little bit easier. And they're like, no one ever told us that. And I was like, I just met you today. Sorry to tell you. You
So
know,
they
like,
lost like hundreds of thousands of dollars here.
yeah, tied, cross collateralized amongst other properties they own.
Oh, another one of
And they
those,
bought
eh?
like four units, two in that building, a few more here and there. Yeah.
People were
They're
so
waiting on more to close right now. Nice people,
like,
like super nice people. It wasn't like they were like,
yeah.
you know, a criminal enterprise. There was nothing shady going on there, Daryl. They were
No,
just
they're just
honest, hardworking
silly.
people.
Yeah, it's like these people are just wanting to like get ahead, and they got a little bit of money and
Yeah.
look all around them and everybody's making all this money and it's like no
Jet skis.
brainer.
They got jet skis. I don't have jet skis.
I don't understand. Everybody's buying these condos. They're making a fortune. They're buying cars. They're buying boats. They have cottages. And I'm sitting here going, but that guy turns out to be the smart guy, depending on
The
the
Toyota
timing.
Tercel drive-in,
The guy who
no
just didn't
cottage,
fucking
no
do it.
jet skis, and
Yeah.
he just paid off his mortgage over the last few years. Follow us, check out our channel, leave a comment, like, subscribe, hit the bell, check out Daryl's Substack.
Thank you. Well, don't forget to make an appointment with TK.
I had a conversation with a guy today who I told him not to sell. He's got no mortgage, so it's like, he's not in a position where he needs to sell.
There's no gun to his head.
And the house might be whatever, a little bit much for him, but really what he wants, it's not gonna change too much like drastically. He probably just stay there for like 20 more years. Anyways, he called me today again just to like tell me how, his life is going, whatever. He's a nice guy. But he's like, so I guess I'm doing pretty good, eh? I'm like, he owns like a $1.2 million house, $3 million house, cash, like no mortgage, right? And he's like, so I guess I'm doing pretty good, right? I'm doing pretty good, right? And I'm just like, you're doing fantastic. Way to go. Like you're in a great position. You didn't take on all that debt that you could have and bought all that stuff, you know?
Mhm.
So
Well,
these are the people who are winning right now. Another guy called me last week who's looking at moving up, and he's like, my business is paid off, my house is paid off, this is paid off, I got my boat's paid off. Da 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 da. He's like, now I'm thinking about debt. I'm just like, you're doing pretty good, not taking on any more debt than you need to. I think you're doing okay. I said, is the house too small for you? Like, is it really that much of a downgrade in your life if you have to just stay there for a little while until you save enough cash to be able to bump up to the next one? I never used to give that advice, to be honest with you. I'd just be like, you need to get your you paid off your mortgage. What are you doing? You could leverage that and 2%. Like that's just how they train you in real estate. You know, trying to find solutions on how to be able to get people to where they say they want a bigger house. Like I'll find a solution. But you know, in these type of environments, you're kind of just like slowing things down. You're like, hey, maybe you shouldn't make any drastic decisions. Maybe you should just stay where you are.
um, well, I mean, it seems like realtor morality is fluid, TK, depending
Mhm.
on, I guess, the weather. The market, certainly direction, seems to have an effect on realtors' morality, clearly from your previous statement, right? Because it's not like
Is
you were doing something malicious,
maliciously. Yeah.
right?
It's just
Everybody,
part of the job description is like people come to you, you solve their problems, and if it involves borrowing money, you think what's the worst thing that could happen? You
well,
know, like,
see, the thing
and if
is
you're under
it's,
60, you don't know what the worst thing is that could happen.
well, you position it as solving their problems, right? But at the end of the day, the problem being solved is how do I get this thing to close so that I can solve my problems, which is the commission.
We get compensated for the bigger the problem you solve, the more money you make. Absolutely.
Well, maybe the more problems you solve, the more money you make. And maybe the problems you solve in a higher, I guess, value
Well,
bracket.
the problem is a bigger problem because it's worth more money to
Well,
somebody.
it
If my
might
$2
not.
million home doesn't close, I got a $2 million problem. If my $5 million home doesn't close, I got a $5 million problem.
Well, regardless,
Okay.
TK, the
All right.
point is
Six of
that,
one, half dozen of the other.
well, no, for the last 20 years, the mentality that was ingrained into the sales force was you can borrow from here to fix the
Hmm.
problem over here, and it doesn't matter because everything's going up, baby, and you can't fucking lose. And yeah, we'll figure that out. It's just gonna take more
It's not like the
money.
bank's gonna take your house.
I got a guy for that. I know this guy
It's
for
not like
that.
he's gonna want to not renew the mortgage at, the end of next year's term or want to charge you those fees again. We'll find a solution in the meantime.
Whatever, let's just get it closed and then we'll figure it out from here, right?
I got a guy. Someone was
Well,
asking me today, an agent was asking me yesterday about an appraiser because he's got a problem with somebody's got an issue. So they said we got an appraisal. It came in at 1.65 million in August, and now it's coming in at 1.5. So we're trying to send them comps on how to be able to get like the appraisal up because obviously there's a refinance, they need the money, all that kind of stuff. And I was like, if I was the appraiser, like I think the job that I've got is to like independently appraise and assess the value of the property without any influence from the sellers. Like I don't think you giving them comps or trying to tell them to raise the numbers there is going to make sense. Like, I don't think that's what I said. You can order a new appraiser. I said, you could probably find an appraiser if you pay him enough, he'll do whatever price you want to put. But I said, that guy right there, he's decided that that's the number that he's willing to go with. Like, he's doing his job, you know?
I don't want to even get into the whole appraiser thing now because
Daryl,
it's
how do
just
you really feel about appraisers, Daryl?
nobody that
How do
watches the
you
show
really
knows this, right?
feel? Yeah.
Well, the point is that hopefully there's a mindset reset here with regards to how things work because
Hmm.
clearly most people never really felt the consequences of when a market like this rears its head. And it's because it doesn't happen that often, although it does
Hmm.
feel like it happens more often now. I think it's just um hopefully people just aren't stupid, right? Like
Don't be stupid.
I was sitting at breakfast with a couple of rental guys today, brilliant guys. And, they were like, Darryl, like, when does all this stuff get absorbed? Right. And I don't know, like I was reading some numbers today. Forget about the fact that there's no sales, and we can talk about that too. But like the amount of units that are sitting in inventory, reportedly reported sitting in
That's for
inventory,
sale.
new
New
construction
new
for sale.
construction condo units haven't been sold, owned currently by the builder.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
There's like
Just to clarify what that is.
15,000. Yeah, but there's 15,000. But
That's in
what
Toronto. I bet you in GTHA it's like 30.
Right. And that doesn't include what's coming down the pipe that is definitely going to be on the market, like
Yeah.
if it even closes, right?
Yeah.
So the guys asked me today, when does this all get? Because he said, does the market come back before all the inventory gets absorbed? And I was like, well, I think no. Like what I think the inventory has to really start having a crazy absorption rate. Can you not make it about you for 1 millisecond?
It's about the freaking merch, bro.
Jesus, not distracting at all, TK. Jesus Christ, what was I talking about?
You're talking about inventory and that the stuff's
Well,
coming
okay, so
online and that
this
hasn't even really accounted for it yet.
how long is it really
What's the
gonna
absorption rate?
take? Well, right now we have like enough inventory for 2+ years or 24.8 months or some crazy number like that at
Yeah.
the current pace of sales, right? And the current pace of inventory getting added. But I think it seems like the sales are slowing down and the amount of inventory coming online is growing, right?
Yeah.
So when does this end? I mean, it's not looking very good for an ending. I mean, I definitely started to see like offshoots, green shoots, good things happening. And I still see people like buying and looking at deals and looking at things totally differently. But like, there's a big mess still that has not reared its ugly head. Like, there's a lot of people that have not ripped the band aid off and taken whatever lumps they're going to
Take
take.
their beatings. Yep. Yeah. The people I met today, they haven't taken their beatings yet. There's a lot of beatings
A
still
lot.
left to be given. The one, just updates, like there was one lady that I talked about who got scammed, a few $100,000, owes a whole much more money than that now because of legal fees trying to chase the guy and renewing with private lenders and secured mortgages on her mom's house and all that kind of stuff. So I'm gonna go meet with her again tomorrow. Met with another guy who's got too much debt on the property. So and then these people here who owe 700 and the unit's worth five today. So
So
like
crazy.
there's just a lot of that right now that, November was a good month, had a handful of deals and they were all sort of okay, like people, I don't feel like anybody's going to die because they sold their house in November with me, but I feel like there's going to be a lot of coffins in December. Like it's like what's going to be coming next month. I'm thinking like, oh my God, these guys are all in a lot of trouble. I hope so. Just so everybody knows, in December, everyone takes their property off the market.
I was going to say,
I
yeah.
am rallying my troops right now. I'm like, guys, both the agents on the team and my own sellers. Can you hear me still?
Yeah.
And my own sellers is like get the house on the market for December and January because that was our best month the last 3 years. It lasted 2 weeks. There was
Why?
no
Because
inventory.
everybody else took the inventory
took took
off?
took off the market. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
I
So you
think it was
stayed on.
it went from 28,000 active listings down to 19,000. I might have made that number up, but it was
Hmm.
something along those lines. And so all of a sudden, buyers came out in January, and we just had my client at the bank tell me 40% increase in pre-approvals. It's like that's a huge number. That's a third of the listings almost coming off the market in order for buyers to go out and start shopping with brand new pre-approvals, excited, finally going to afford something, and they just started buying like crazy. And then 2 weeks later, all the listings got put back on again because everyone said, "Oh, the market's back. Shoot, why did I take it off the market?"
Hmm.
Or, "Hey, it's a good time to sell. Now it's the new year," and that was our spring market, and then it was over, and it never came back. And we did that the last 3 years. Every single year, the last three Januaries has been the same.
Hmm.
Yeah. So I mean, isn't like I think that's pretty good evidence,
Of
you know,
what?
of that this would be the best time to be listing your home is putting it on the market in December and riding the wave till maybe the end of January if you don't
I
sell.
I don't know.
Light a fire.
Traditionally, like if you're selling in December means like, uh-oh, like you have to sell right away because December's a horrible time to list,
Well,
right?
that's good. That's good that people think like that because I'm going to use that to my advantage.
Hmm.
I'm going to be the only one on the market. Everyone else will be desperate, and I'll be the one saying I'm not in a rush.
Well, Maybe we'll see. I can't see that everybody's starting to take
Listen,
their listings down right now.
you'll see around the holidays. We're talking about it on the team, left, right, and center right now. Everyone's telling us let's suspend and put it up next year.
Well, if the Frank Leo team does it all across the board, that'll eliminate a lot of listings.
Nothing. We don't even have like 1% of
Really?
listings.
You guys
Yeah,
have a ton of
one
listings.
1% would be 350. I think we have like 280 or something.
Whoa, that's a ton of
Yeah,
listings, though.
yeah,
That's crazy. You
yeah.
know, I notice our views are ticking up. I wonder if people are thinking more about real estate right now because it definitely, I notice like activity follows our view counts, which is pretty cool. But like, and it makes sense, obviously, if people are, sentiment would follow our view counts, right? More people are interested in real estate, so they start watching and I mean, I guess maybe our show's a bad indicator because if they're doing research, this is the wrong place to land. But I, I
No more
feel,
negative self-talk, Daryl. This is the place to be. We got
well,
all the info. We just don't
I'll tell you,
prepare as like the other shows and edit and all that. That's just, it's a lot of work, guys. We're busy.
the guys I met with today, they love
Yeah.
the show. They're like big fans and they just love that, we're honest and we talk from the hip and we're not like, produced. But, you gotta get through some of the nonsense in order to hear some interesting or good stuff, right, TK? At least from me. From you, it's like all good stuff
Good
all the
stuff
time,
all day long.
all
Yeah.
day long.
All
Oh,
day long.
geez.
And then did you guys see the merch? Did you guys see the merch? If anyone has not bought any
We don't
Canadian
have a
real
merch
estate.
store anymore. We got to put
Oh,
that back up. We
oh,
closed it
never
down
mind.
when we changed the name.
We closed the merch store.
We got to put that thing back
Editor,
up.
merch store. Let's get the merch store back on track.
Let's roll with
Yeah.
the merch store. So, TK, Bill 60 is in the news. I don't know
Let's
if you
talk
want
about
to
it.
talk about
Let's do
that.
it. This is the big news this week. I mean, because one, it's a little confusing. People, they hear the word bill and they don't understand what the heck it means, right? So obviously, people are very concerned.
Well, there's a lot of stuff in here, and then there's a lot of, people making noise out there. The
Yeah,
problem is, you get some loud people spitting out half truths and spinning up other people that just believe anything.
yeah,
Right? So you got
exactly.
people out there going, Bill 60's screwing every single tenant in the city and everybody's fucked and you're gonna get kicked out because you don't pay your rent after a week and it's a
Yeah,
travesty. And it's like you get all these
no,
other people that watch
zero.
that on TikTok and Instagram and go, oh no, we're fucked. Like we should fight against this. Let's join the
Yeah.
revolution. Anyways.
First of
Oh,
all, I am pro landlord. I believe that the landlord's rights right now in the landlord tenant board are near zero. I got an N11 right now, okay? So I sold the house. We got the N11 signed before we sold the house. We got a cash or keys agreement signed. So we'll give you the money when you leave. We got everything signed. We did everything right. You can't do a better job than this. And then when we filed the N11 because we sold the house. The tenant says, no, I'm going to fight this. I don't want to move anymore. Right. So now the paralegal's involved and they're like, well, you got to maybe offer them more money. Right. Because they said that wasn't enough money at the time. And then the deal, we put in some extensions and everything else too. But like, you know how long it takes to be able to get one of these bloody hearings. So it's like, I don't even know if these extensions are going to be enough. And I got a family of like 7 people who are all like excited to move into this house that they just bought, that it took me months to be able to get this absolutely horrible tenant, worst living conditions I've ever seen children live in my life. Children's Aid, one of the showings, one of the buyers called Children's Aid on her when they saw it. Like it was just like such a horrible scenario, just
mhm.
disgusting. I went in there once and I would never go back into that place again. And she's saying she doesn't want to leave.
Somebody closed?
No,
Oh, it
I
closed.
got a closing like in December, but I got all these extensions, so we'll see next year. But now we're got to go to the landlord tenant board, and she might have a case that says we don't have to go, even though we hold like the whole point was we signed an N11, like
We're
very 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 well done, documented. We got video of him doing it because he was out of province, and like we witnessed hers, and like everything was just super really clean cut. And like, did you get legal advice? And like, this is how much you're gonna get paid, and is this enough time? And like, so in my mind, how you should do it, I guess, as best as I know at least. And yet still. The paralegal's like, well, they might rule in her favor to say no, she can stay because of the kid's school and all the rent prices and all that kind of stuff.
But the buyer still has to close, even if they don't
No,
get the vacant
the deal will
possession.
get terminated. No, the deal will get terminated. We couldn't negotiate that in. We had that in one of the other offers before, but I couldn't get the price my guy wanted. So this is the only person that I could. This is the best deal I could get my guy.
It's a real fuck up to buy a house that
Yeah,
was previously or currently tenanted with
yeah,
the plan that they're going to leave because shit like this happens way more than most
yeah.
people know.
And like we're willing to throw money. Don't tell anybody, Daryl. I'm willing to throw money at this. Like I don't even care at this point in time. I do not want to have to resell this house or want anything to do with these people.
Yeah.
I'm ready to go. I'm going to go out to the buyer agent too and say, hey, we need to like grease these tenants to go, and everybody chips in, and let's get them out of here. But anyways, I didn't say that to you, so we'll see. I
Well,
don't want to
while
speak
we're
for you.
not saying stuff to each other, I mean,
Yeah,
there's ways to, entice people to leave that, work, TK.
yeah.
We can talk about that,
This is
you know,
like there's like four kids.
in person.
It's like one of those situations where it's like, oh, anyways, let's stop
Well,
talking about that.
anyways,
It's
so
stressing me out, Daryl. All right, it's
listen,
stressing me out. All right,
stop making it about you.
all right.
N60 TK is
Bill 60.
very Bill 60 is
Let's talk about it.
very landlord it's swinging things more back towards landlord. There's a few things in there that help the landlords out. And let's
Yeah,
be honest, I mean, obviously I'm going to take the landlord side, but I mean, I've been a tenant before too.
yeah,
The whole system is fucked from both sides is the problem. It's not more fucked from one side than the other. It
yeah.
is very imbalanced though
Can we
currently in the tenant's direction.
can we
Like
just
there's
say other things here too? Because I think the noise right now is from the tenants, but actually we're talking about faster provincial transit delivery, municipal service coordination, new rules for development charges, and local service
well, but why
policies.
can't we finish what I was talking about before you
Okay,
bring
go.
up the next part?
I'm not trying to change it, but just to
Well, it's
also
a
expand.
broad, sure. I mean,
Yeah,
it's a huge bill and there's all kinds of stuff in it. But I think,
yeah,
the most important stuff is the landlord tenant board stuff. There's definitely some interesting, like the development stuff in there. I don't think is anything new in there. It's just stuff we already
they
know.
were talking about it before. Yeah,
Yeah, it's already stuff that like there's nothing new in there. There's an interesting thing with rental replacement buried deep within all of this stuff as well that I
yeah.
noticed. But again, it's like very
Bike lanes.
I didn't even notice that.
Reducing, you're not municipalities will not be able to reduce motor vehicle lanes for certain purposes, including bike lanes.
That's good.
Yeah, unless
I
the
thought we
provincial
already
rules
live.
allow it.
Didn't
We
we
did,
already
but
get
you got
rid
to
of
pass
that?
it into law.
Oh, for God's
You got to
sakes.
put it up and vote it in.
Right.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, listen, right now, if you're late on your rent, like you can't even give an official notice for 2 weeks, right? Like they're not
yeah,
really technically late you're not able to serve them as late for 2 weeks. And they cut that in half. So now they can only get away with a week before you give them a notice and you can kind of start the proceedings. I don't know how big a difference that really makes. I mean, I
yeah,
guess a week is better than 2 weeks, but I think cutting down the times to get a hearing is a
yeah,
big idea that will never happen, but it sounds good. I think one thing in there that's interesting, at least from my perspective, is that if a tenant wants to bring up a new item, a new complaint at the hearing that they didn't already put into the uh, complaint or
okay.
whatever it is, they have to pay some rent into the court
50, at
system.
least 50% of the past due rent.
Right, in order to bring up a new subject. So like it better be fucking worth it, you know? You're not just going to bring up random shit in there to like build a bullshit case against your landlord without
Yeah,
throwing some money out there because
yeah,
half of these things it's like about nonsense to begin with. And then they get in front of the judge and they're like, yeah, and then this, and then oh yeah, like look at this little thing that I found. And like he doesn't do anything that I ever, and it becomes they just start piling shit on to make a better case.
yeah,
It's so crazy that it even has to be like this. It's like you should be able to just send a guy to knock the fucking door down and rip them out and throw them on the front lawn with a gun. You should be allowed to do that. Why can't you
Yeah,
do that? It's like you didn't pay. What do you think is supposed to happen if you don't pay?
I know. I
It's
know.
so crazy. No?
I know, I agree. Listen,
Even this is like bullshit.
I'm all ears here, you know? Like this is exactly what we tried to do. Now, the whole point of this rental of the landlord tenant board um, involvement, I mean, obviously to speed things up, but it was in order to be able to remove security of tenure. But unfortunately, that got a lot of backlash right off the bat, right? And so that meant that that was like, you know, that was the secret. You know, everything else was just like it's really not that much of a compensation. Now, the 120 days is pretty cool, so you don't have to pay the 1 month's rent. Some people are like really struggling, so they're like, I don't need to move in like right away. You can pay me rent until you leave, but like I have to compensate you 1 month's rent to leave my basement apartment. Like I'm just trying to move in there with my son or whatever it is. So now you can do 120 days. You don't have to provide any compensation, which is pretty cool.
What's this? If you kick them out
And
because you're
12,
moving in
and 12. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
or your family members moving in, they
Yeah.
didn't get rid of that altogether because that seems
No.
to be the biggest bunch of horse shit of all time. You
Well, the
should,
deal that I got on right now, actually, this would apply. The N12 will apply, but we did an N11, and the paralegal is saying don't do the N12, and I'm like, you know, it might take longer for the process, but I mean, the N12 is like, we got a legitimate person who's going to be owning this house that's going to be moving in with their family. Like, why is their family not as important as the family that lives there right now? Like, they own the house. Like, their kids need to go to the schools too, you know? So, like, I think the N12 is a better angle on this, but I mean, you know, the paralegals go to these hearings all the time, so I'm not going to
why? So that
argue
wouldn't
with them.
apply in this case? Because that seems like it's an actual legit use of this.
Yeah. It does apply. What it is though we already have an N11 signed. We've already filed it. So what he's saying is don't file a new form because that can confuse things. Just stick with what the N11 process is right now. And if that doesn't go through, you know, I don't know what advice we'll give them. But my suggestion was not looked at favorably.
I don't
So,
know about listening to paralegals about anything, to be quite honest with you, TK. I mean,
but it's
you
not
know
my
what?
call. It's not my call.
But you know why there's the para in front of that, right? Like it's not
Yeah,
because they're fantastic lawyers and they're like fine, upstanding human beings, most of them. I mean, a lot of them, I'm sure I'm overgeneralizing, but these are
I know.
generally people that couldn't cut it in the field that they wanted to be in and are
Yeah.
taking scraps, right? So I don't know about listening to them about certain things. Seems to me that filing an N12 in this situation, TK, is the actual reason why we have that thing. Not all
Yeah.
this bullshit like, oh, my daughter's cousin is moving to Toronto and needs a place to live. You're gone, you motherfucker. Get out.
Mm,
Right? Like
mm,
that's how it was used for the last, I don't even know how long. Right?
yeah.
Get out of my house. I'm moving in. And it was legit. And now you got a family actually moving in, and the paralegals going, yeah, I don't know. This is going to confuse people if we have to make another form. Like,
Yeah.
does that sound? People are just
I know.
unbelievably lazy.
We know you have a disdain for the
Well,
paralegals and their roles, but
especially
yeah,
that one son of a bitch. But I
I
don't want
know.
to get all spun up now, TK.
Yeah. Sorry. So yeah, I mean, overall, I think that these are all good policies. I'll just list them here so people know what they are. So I mean, got that 50% pay in arrears before raising issues. The compensation for 120 days is no longer required. If you do 60 days, you would still need to pay. There's future limits on reviews of the LTB decisions, so you know you can't just be having a unlimited amount of time in order to be able to review their decisions. Shorter timeline to request a review, so you don't have 30 days anymore. You only have 15 days in order to request a review because that's how people basically delay the eviction, like the professional tenants. Persistent late, so the N8s, that's always been like, you know, some people go and serve like freaking 30 N8s, and it's just like you still can't get the guy out. So, you know, now they're going to define what persistence late payment is, but they haven't yet. Shorter N4 eviction period for monthly rent. So 7 days instead of 14 days. So you can file earlier, which is pretty cool.
This is so dumb, so dumb.
Just like little things there that'll hopefully
it
speed
should
things up
just
is what
be
they're trying to
like,
do.
get the fuck
Yeah.
out of my house now before I shoot you all. Get
Yeah.
out.
More staff, so that's good. More enforcement staff. I got a bloody eviction order January 2025, And I walk into the New Market Court on like the 3rd of January or something. And I was like, here we go. Just got my eviction order ready to go. And they're like, okay, well, we're booking for April. I was
April
like,
what?
April? I'm like, that's like,
Like to have
you
a
know,
sheriff go do it, the actual eviction?
yeah.
What?
It was like over 3 months away. And what?
Who's
But I just
paying
worked so
for
hard
all
to get
this?
this,
Well, and
like,
who's paying for these
what do
extra
you mean?
months?
What do you mean?
This is
But,
so crazy.
yeah,
I gotta,
overall, I'm pretty excited about that. But
did I
there's more to Bill 60 too. So if we can go into those too when
did
you're
I
ready.
tell you what happened with the remember that tenant I had in Kingston Road that attacked me? Did I tell you what happened the other day?
Yeah. The
Did I
other
tell
day?
you that?
No. No,
I
the
got
other
a
day, no. No.
I got a phone call from some other lawyer
Yeah.
who is defending the police department
Yeah.
in some case that so that tenant sued the shit out of me for all kinds of crazy stuff and
Yeah.
also sued the police department somehow.
Okay.
And so the police department was I guess the lawyer was calling me to, get my
Figure out.
memory of what happened that night. And they got the camera. They got the body cam footage. I gotta
Yeah.
see this, TK. I
She
gotta see
she or
this.
he attacked the police officers as well.
No, but she was acting all crazy. I got to see what I was like because I was probably so flustered. I just got
Yeah.
fucking like tackled by
Just
a
run. Yeah.
Jamaican woman, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
My shirt was all ripped. I was bleeding. I was like,
Yeah.
I had just like, I had to get out of there. I like ran to my car and
Yeah. Yeah.
jumped
Yeah.
down the stairs. Like I jumped
Yeah.
from the top to the landing somehow. I
Yeah.
jumped in my car. I drove around the corner and I called my partner. I was like, "You gotta hear what just happened to me. I don't know what
Yeah.
to do."
Just
Then I
trying to
went
collect the
back
rent.
and there's like
Trying to
police
develop the
there.
property.
She called the cops on me, right? She
Yeah.
broke back into the unit, tackled me, and
Yeah.
then called the cops and then sued me. Like, what a system we have here, TK.
Yeah.
And on top
I
of
hope
it,
you
the
win.
crazy person is suing the police department on top of it and wasting everybody's money, right?
Yeah.
This is such a craziness. And it's like, it really should be easy. It's like, you should know that if you don't pay the goddamn rent, somebody's going to come and remove you from the property. And you should just be afraid that that will happen. And then you won't do it,
Yeah. Well, I mean,
right?
commercial is different, right? Commercial, that was a commercial tenant.
Commercial tenant,
Yeah.
very different.
I feel like
Um,
commercial tenants think that they can get away with more. I feel like commercial tenants are like, yeah, they changed the locks, but there's that loose board there on the back fence, and then I know how to be able to get in the window, and like
I don't know
nobody's
how she
there.
got back
I
in.
think I think there's a little bit more like, that type of mindset in the commercial world.
So I'm going back to the property to see, how it's doing because it's supposed to be vacant and I'm trying to rent it again, right? And
Yeah,
I go in there and the lights are on and I'm like, "Uh-oh." And there's stairs to go up, the ones I jumped down when she fucking tackled me.
yeah,
So I'm walking up the stairs. I'm like, I wonder, maybe I left the lights on or something. I go in there and she's sitting there at a table, like nothing, like she's supposed to be in there,
yeah,
broke in there somehow. I have no
yeah,
idea how. Reading the Bible, TK.
yeah,
And then she looks up at me and it's like, I'm like, what are you doing in here? And then
yeah,
she just charges at me, TK.
yeah.
Charges and tackles me and knocks me to the ground. And
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
what the
yeah.
fuck is going on? And
Listen,
it's like,
Daryl's a lover, not a fighter. All right, he's not. He wasn't put on this world to be,
you got to picture it though. First,
taking down
she
tough
takes me
Jamaican women
down.
on Kingston Road in Scarborough.
She takes me down, like literally,
Yeah,
boom, against the wall. I'm on the ground. I get up. I'm running. Okay.
yeah,
Running down the hallway, trying to get away from her. And she's got me by the hood. Okay.
yeah, yeah,
My favorite hoodie, too. And I'm
yeah,
running and she's pulling and the thing's ripping and I'm choking. And I'm like, I don't know how to get rid of her. She's got me by the hood.
yeah. Come
And
to
so
jiu-jitsu class.
it's crazy that landlords, the stuff that I can't even imagine half the shit people put up
Yeah.
with.
My
Like,
my landlord right now with this crazy lady, he's afraid to go to the property. He won't go because now like the husband's there. He's
oh, yeah.
70 years old. He's like, I'm not going to the property. He's like, they're ready to like attack me and they
Yeah.
say all these things and like he's stressed. And I told him, I said, if you need to go, tell me, I'll go with you. Like, don't worry. He's like, no, no, we're just not going there anymore. And I'm
Yeah.
just
It's
like,
so crazy.
his property's been taken over. Are you a real estate agent and you're looking to make a change anywhere in Ontario? Guess what? We're hiring. Franklin Associates, #1 team in the GTA for all Remax teams, #1 team for all teams from all companies for number of units sold. throughout Toronto. So if you're looking to make a change, best decision I ever made was to join Franklin Associates. Go to jointeamleo.com and we can set up a call.
Taken over.
Yeah.
We never talked about that fire in Brampton. We were supposed to last week. Talk about being taken over by the
How many bodies
tenants.
have they found now? Did they I knew they found one this week. I didn't get an update on that.
I don't know what's
Uh
going on there, but
so like
clearly
yeah.
there's neglect going on and overcrowding and probably a whole lot of cash flow,
Three
which
women, a
is
toddler,
crazy.
and unborn baby confirmed dead in
Oh
Brampton fire.
no. Oh
Yeah.
shit. I didn't know it
Three
was
women,
that
a
severe.
toddler, and unborn baby confirmed
No.
dead in Brampton fire.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh goodness gracious. Did they figure out what caused the problem? Like what caused the fire? Was it just some idiot smoking a joint or something?
I don't know. I don't know.
Or
But I mean, look, I mean, like everyone's kind of going off about the whole like, illegal unit in the basement. And like, I don't know if that's true or not. 2019, the guy pulls a permit. He tries to, do a legal duplex, never ended up going anywhere with it.
oh
Somehow they obviously
god.
are renting out the unit to somebody else. And then you got a multi-generational family living upstairs. And like an Indian family with 9 people in it, it's like that's not that uncommon, you know?
Mhm.
4 or 5 kids, a couple grandparents, you're at 9 people,
Is that all there
So
was 9 people there?
11, 2 people in the basement that were not related to them, but then 9 people upstairs.
Wow.
So
So it
it's
wasn't
hard to
even
say
like
exactly
that
what happened,
crazy.
obviously. I mean, geez, is there overcrowding? Yeah. I mean, I guess really what it means is it just means housing is too expensive. But are we sure that those people would not have lived together anyways? Like if that house was $300,000, are all those people maybe potentially gonna then just would they get a bigger house? Is that the argument? You know, would they
Guess
would they
because
still
like
live in that house? Maybe they're happy in that house. Maybe it's a good house. Seems like a decent house. It's pretty big.
there's not too many houses big enough for 9 people to actually live comfortably, I don't think. I mean,
Mm,
certainly not affordable options, that's for sure.
yeah.
Which
But
is
I'm just kind of like looking at it from the other side. Is like, is it that bad? And probably
is that bad?
I would get, crapped on in the comments that,
Where
that's not
does
a
everybody
sign of a healthy
sleep?
society. But I'll go back to my dad and his brothers had 8 brothers, mom, dad, grandma, and rented out the living room in a
Yeah.
3 bedroom bungalow with no basement, no finished basements.
Mhm. Well, that's fucking poor, bro.
No,
Right?
that was the immigrant story. That's
Yeah,
what
they
you
were
did.
broke, and that's why they put up with shit like
But they
that.
worked hard in order to be able to get where they needed to go. It's just part
Now
of
everybody's
where
entitled.
they were coming from. That was their family. Why would they not want to live with their family? You know?
I can give you reason
I'm just
upon
saying.
reason
Well,
upon
I'm just
reason.
saying, if you
TK, at least
immigrated to
this
a new
family.
country, you would be very like close to your family. You would feel blessed to be able to have them living with you. So,
God, imagine how
I get
bad
it.
it's got to be
I
for
get
you
it.
to
I
want to
get it.
like do that. Like that's the better option, right?
Yeah.
Imagine how talk about bad. Where were we? We went to go try this pizza in Hamilton this weekend, TK, and I can't believe it looks like those shots of like LA and Vancouver where everybody's zombies and all methed out and fucked up and living on the street. I couldn't even believe how bad it was. And I was like, I thought people went to Hamilton because I thought Hamilton was a boom town and, everybody was buying and developing and because it was affordable.
Hamilton like was gross, like still is, has lots of gross parts to it.
But well,
Steel Town, come on.
right in the heart is
Yeah.
horrific. I
Big
was
time. It always
so
has been.
shocked. I
Yeah.
can't believe TK. I know I say it all the time. I'm
Yeah.
stuck in this vortex of I cannot believe that this is the country that I live in. I can't believe it. It's so there were not protests about everything in the streets and people stabbing each other and people drugging each other and yelling and hating
Sure,
like
but that's a global thing. That's a
this is
global
a
thing.
whole fucking
Europe, listen, you know what
everywhere.
was going on in the UK this week? It was
Lots of crazy shit.
yeah, a bunch of guys, UK guys, marching down the street, basically shouting out like anti-Islamic stuff in like a parade.
Hmm.
Marching down the street.
Yeah, reverse. protest. No,
I don't know if that's a. I think that just sounds like a regular protest. But
well,
either way,
one
whatever.
seems to be okay to do, and the
Yeah.
other seems to not be okay to do.
Okay, whatever. But it doesn't matter.
Oh, so then
Whatever.
they can't be the same,
Okay,
TK.
no problem. I'm just saying, regardless, reverse protest or protest.
Reverse
This
protest.
these is the world right now. The world is very unhappy.
Divided,
There's a lot
divided,
of unrest right now
confused,
throughout the world. You know,
unsettled, and scared, man. Everybody's
absolutely.
running scared.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, there must be people, okay? There must be people that are just so fucking freaked out about losing their job at some point that they don't even know what to do. They're so
yeah.
freaked out that they can't even think about it for real.
This this lady this week, did you see on CTV? She was a realtor who used to make $200,000 to $300,000 a year, but now she's like,
crying, yeah. She
I'm
can't even show her
83%
house.
down, and I'm trying to sell my house, or else the bank's gonna take it. And I'm just like,
Can't even get a
what was the
showing for
point of
six
this? What
months.
was the point of this news article? Like, who signed her up for that? You know what I mean? Nobody feels bad for you, lady.
No, but
Zero
why?
people watching that right now are going, poor lady. Somebody send her a referral. She needs to sell some people some houses. Like, that was not
I think it was a
good
commercial for
press.
her house.
That
Like it
was
was
not
like,
good press.
I gotta get rid of
How am
this
I
thing,
supposed to sell this beautiful 4 bedroom house with 3.5 bathrooms, a
right?
double car garage? Nobody's coming to see it. I'm very motivated to sell it.
Right?
I'm desperate. The bank's about to take it. You should
The
see my backyard.
address
How
is
much money I spent on the backyard already.
right.
It backs onto a ravine. All right. Nobody will ever live behind you. It's a ravine, and I have a
Yeah,
walkout basement, but my income is very low this year.
yeah. And don't worry, like they're not about to go power of sale, so it won't be cheaper next month. You don't even have to think about that.
Yeah.
But
And I will cut my commission. You buy from me directly, no commission
no
means you save
commission.
right away 5% off the top. 5% save. But I'm struggling in this economy.
Yeah,
This is very tough times. She might be a
crazy.
genius. She might be a genius. My house
It's
is right behind me. This is the this is the house right
right.
here.
MLS
Yeah.
number.
This is the house right here. You know?
But so she just got all this publicity. Look, we're
I
even
love her.
talking about her.
Oh,
I wonder if
great.
she
She's
sold the
amazing.
house. Can we check that
Uh,
out? Can
I
we
have
see
no
if she
idea where
sold
she
the house
is.
now?
That's okay. I hope she sold it.
Yeah, well, it's brutal out there.
Yeah.
It's really brutal out there. I see this tweet here talking about how brutal and how everybody's broke. The
Yeah.
official poverty line for a family of four in 2024 is 140K. Why 100K is the new poor, TK?
But that's like somebody who's going to be like buying a house and everything else like that. So you got to just factor in all the people who don't have mortgages. 42% of people don't have mortgages. It's a huge number.
Huge number.
Yeah.
And I
So are
mean,
they really poor? Like, okay, so their family household income's only 80,000. All right, but are they poor?
well, I mean,
They don't
a
have a
hundred,
mortgage.
even if you're renting, a mortgage doesn't make you poor. A
But
mortgage
that in
makes
fact that
you
factors in
in
housing
debt,
costs, and
right?
they look at like an average mortgage payment or average
Well, it
cost.
could
Blah,
be
blah, blah, blah.
similar to the
I
rent.
don't like those
Like,
stats. I don't like those stats. Those
but
stats are skewed. Those
the,
are those are like those type of people who are trying to make it seem like we're in a worse situation. And I'm not saying it's not true. It's accurate. What
it's
they're saying is
very
accurate.
true.
Yeah.
It's very true.
And the point is also true. And the numbers are right. It's just it doesn't actually reflect a real number. Like if you don't make 140,000, are you literally living in poverty? No.
Well, you're not living in poverty, but you're not middle class anymore.
If you don't own your home outright, I agree. If you have to be renting in Toronto, I agree. If like all those
Why? What does the
scenarios.
owning the home have to do with it? Like,
What do
if
you
you
mean? What's because that's factoring in like the average rent cost is da 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 da. No, like the person owns the home. They just pay the property taxes and utilities. They don't have a mortgage payment.
oh, they don't have a mortgage payment? Okay,
Yeah, they
that's a whole other
they own their
story.
home, no mortgage. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Oh, okay.
42% people have no mortgage.
42% of homeowners have no mortgage. Is that what you're
Well, who
saying?
else would not have a mortgage, Daryl? Yeah, 40.
Renters.
No, but I
Renters.
mean, they own the home and they have 42% of homeowners don't have a mortgage.
Where is that?
In
In
Toronto is 42, and in Vancouver it's like 49.
42% of homeowners don't even have a mortgage. Wow, that's impressive, TK. That's amazing.
Talk to
That's
someone
a
who's like 60. Remember, the
feat.
baby boomers is the largest demographic. Okay? Talk to them.
Okay.
Talk to them. The majority of them are doing okay.
Yeah, I mean, a
Majority. There's
lot of
still a ton
them.
of them who manage things improperly and they're screwed because they don't have any means of, making more money now and
Well,
late retirement. ages. But
even some of them who are now 70 or like late 60s, TK, towards probably the end of their life, if they had jobs, they've probably been draining the equity out of those houses for a long time.
there's
They
a
got
there's a subset.
reverse mortgages. Well, I would
There's,
imagine, especially as, listen, their usefulness has gone down considerably over time, even before, right? As you get older, that's just the case. And there's always a younger, hungrier person that's better at doing what you're doing that will do it for less money. So they're already like all kind of just dying out of work, anyways, right? Now you add on to it the fact that like prices of everything just went fucking bananas, right? And so even if you still had a job, they were dealing with the same shit everybody else is dealing. The cost of living flew away from the incomes, right? And so,
Agree. They're feeling more pressure now on their fixed incomes and their
well, and then
budgets and
they're
all that
like,
stuff. Of
oh, well,
course.
Sally and Greg, they're always going on vacation. We got to go
I
on
know.
a cruise every year. And it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, we'll just take it out of the line of credit. We'll go on a cruise. And oh my God, like I can't look at this carpet anymore. When Maggie comes over, I want to kill myself because this carpet is
You know
loopy.
what I'll tell you is honestly the spending habits of a lot of the baby boomers are much different than ours. The best were, I don't know what generations that's called, but it would be my grandparents' generations, right? Because they actually went through the Great Depression. So like they're just like super frugal. But a lot of the baby boomers lifestyles, I know a lot of guys who are like just super wealthy and like their lifestyle is nowhere near. Like it's the young people, like their minds are just screwed. Like it's just they need to have these flat, nice luxury goods and nice cars and like this lifestyle issue that we've got in the younger generations is like gonna keep us broke for sure. Because I deal with a lot of people who are, to me, I'm like, you got like millions of dollars worth of assets, and you got, retirement, like a pension and different things that are going really well for you. You know what I mean? Like I can see that because I'm getting exposed to their finances. And I look at their lifestyle and I hear their complaints. And sometimes their complaints are just like property taxes are up $2,000 a year. Can't afford this. And they're really much better at managing money than the younger generations. Like I notice a huge difference, massive difference.
There's a huge difference because, well, I don't know, like the baby boomers, I guess they weren't spoiled like, I don't
They
know.
struggle in their 30s. And when you're paying 20% interest in the 80s on the house, like your first home, they were getting screwed. They were getting their butts dragged across the floor, left, right, and center by the banks. And they learned some hard lessons for like a decade. Then they
Yeah.
had a little bit of a boom and then they went right back into it in the 90s. So they came
Yeah.
out of that going like, holy smokes, I better not live above my means. And at that time, their incomes were 20, 30, $40,000 a year, whatever it was. They couldn't afford to do much and they were getting killed through interest. So they developed really good spending habits that is evident, in their later years, where we went through this boom for so bloody long that it's just like, well, don't worry, I'll make more money. Oh, don't worry, if I don't have enough money, I'll make another big deal.
But
Don't worry, if I have to pay off that credit card by mortgaging my house, it's okay.
they
And
were
it's a huge difference in
able
mindset.
but they were able to afford a good life and to put some money aside, whether it was in a GIC or an RRSP or in the stock market. Like back then, you just had to have a job, buy a house, put aside 15% every month of what you brought home, and you had investments, you had a house, you had cars,
I
everything
know,
was
but
beautiful.
you're talking like a millennial right now.
No, I'm talking about a realist because what happened, TK, is
Yeah,
everything got way too far apart. You cannot have that anymore on a normal, like if you cannot go have a normal job that now would pay 60, 100 grand and afford to go on vacation once or twice a year and have a nice car and have a nice place to live. You're in a shoebox condo, you're taking Ubers all over the place, and maybe you get to go on a staycation or something like that, or you go to fucking Dominican for the in the
hey, watch it.
but you know what I mean. You're not going to Hawaii, you're not going to Europe,
Sure.
you're not
Yeah.
going to, but back in the day they could go to Disney and they could go, they could have amazing
Tahiti,
lives. They could go,
Fiji.
It didn't matter. You just saved
Yeah.
up another 3 months to go to like a crazier place, right? But
Yeah.
that's how it worked. You could like save up for a few months because there was extra. Now, just to like have what everybody else has, you're fucking broke. You're stretched. You're in credit card debt, or right? Like this is just how it is. Even if you have a good job, right? Because what happens is like, even if you have two people making 150 grand, you're spending the 300 grand, right? You're
Hmm.
spending it, or you maybe you get to put a little aside if you make 300, but like much less than 300. I don't know how you like think about it. Then you're taxed. You end up with like a fraction of it, right?
I would just like to see a spreadsheet with what these people expend every single month.
Well,
I
listen,
would like
it
to see
is.
that.
But the
I would
point
like to
is
see
you
that.
get used to it. So now you
Yes,
have the money and
agreed.
you need it.
Car payment,
But now
insurance,
listen,
mortgage payment because you
but
need a bigger
but
house.
the kids, okay, so the
Yeah,
baby boomers kids that were used to a good life that the parents provided could still provide themselves with a really great life, okay? But now, without any help, you're fucked, okay? Unless you're like so super, but like most people aren't motivated to do the stuff necessary to make the big money, right? They just
sure.
look around
I
and go
can
like,
guarantee you in the 80s and 90s that there was plenty of boomers who were living the exact same way that you're describing we are right now.
no,
I can guarantee it.
there's
They
no
were
doubt.
paycheck to paycheck. They were robbing Peter to
No
pay
doubt.
Paul. They were working extra hours. They're paying all this interest. The numbers were smaller and all that kind of stuff. And
Different.
that, they put on an image of they could still provide da 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 da. They were managing their money better. I promise you that is a major
But they
factor in.
could because there was
No, no, no,
extra.
no, no, no. They no, there wa- it's they were just at the end of the month they had 200, and what they did with that 200 is they put it aside so that once a year they could go on that vacation, which only cost $1,800 for the family to go away. I get it,
But that's what I'm saying. They didn't
but
need the 200,
I'm
right?
just saying but that 200, okay, is still what they were able to save, percentage of their income, whatever it is.
You had one
Yeah,
guy with a wife at home, made no money. You had a guy made probably back then 30 grand or something, even
sure,
call it 50 grand. And
working his tail off.
he could have the car, he could have the house, he could pay for everything, go on vacations, he could go have a nice dinner every once in a while. He could like feel like he
And I'm not
wasn't
I'm
stretched
not
to the
saying
bone.
it's better uh, today or that it was not as bad back then.
But
Definitely, it was a lot easier. It was a
hold on
lot
a second.
easier back then in some ways,
It was
but
just
their
closer.
money management was a lot better than the people because they grew up
Fine.
coming out of the war, baby boomers, parents coming from the Great Depression. They grew up in very frugal lifestyles.
Yeah.
Nothing, no electronics, no social media influence. Just like I'm happy with what I got. I got a pair of jeans, I got a hoodie, I got an old car. I don't have debt. Like that was their upbringing, and
Yeah.
that our upbringing anybody who ever held a cell phone, even if it was a little Nokia as a teenager, or anybody who was on a computer, you know what I mean, at some point in their life before they turned 18, even if the computer was MS DOS or whatever, you know what I mean, has had an influence on them that has put them in this fake world and has influenced us to live beyond our means. And I can see a huge difference in
There-
money management habits between
There's
that
that.
generation and
Yeah.
the
Yeah. There's
millennials, Gen Y, Gen Z. What are the other
that.
Gen X? Is that you? Are you Gen
I'm
X?
Gen X. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, Gen
There's
X. Gen X is
definitely
not bad. They're in the middle.
it's when it's so easy, right? Like you press a button, you just tap a card. It's like you think about it later. It makes
Yeah.
it much easier to do those stupid things.
Yeah.
But I fine. It's the gap that's the problem. There was
Yeah.
still the same problems back then, for sure. There's still the same behaviors, no doubt. But the gap is so much bigger now that the problem is so much bigger because there's so
Of
many more
course.
people, right?
Agreed. And housing, like you can just look at a housing to income ratio, housing price to income ratio today versus where it was before, and you can see that this is definitely a big strain. Is that if I'm using what did we say last week? 50% in Canada of people's income is going towards their housing costs, and in Toronto is 110%,
Yeah.
which again is one of those stats, right? It's like what do you mean 110% is going towards their
How does
income?
that work
That math ain't
exactly?
mathing. But the
Not
point
nothing.
is that the total amount of income versus the total amount of um, debt. That's what's being used. And we talked maybe it was because of not declared income and people also fake their income and all that kind of stuff. But long story short is it's a guide. It tells us if we use the same measures today as we calculated them 30 years ago, it just tells us what the difference is. And you can definitely see that housing is getting more and more out of reach. But housing prices are coming down. Are they coming back in January, Daryl? So what I would caution buyers who are listening, who are going to say, "Well, I'm going to be buying a property," they're going to see some activity coming into the market soon. They're going to see some people um, buying, and they're going to see houses and sold signs, and maybe bidding wars and all that kind of stuff. But my prediction is it's going to be short-lived, and that when that stuff happens, take a seat, go back onto the sidelines, wait it out. You're not at risk of the market running away from you, and just hang out until you see things cool down again, and then you can go get back into the market after the rush falls out. And we got an interest rate announcement coming up next month too. So I wonder how that's going to pan out.
Yeah, I think this monster is led by the pre-con market, whether we want to believe it or not. I think
Uh-huh.
the resale market, I don't know. I mean, you're in it all the time. I think um that inventory can balance itself out a lot better. But I think we got major, like when you only sell, I don't know which one was right, 25 units or 52 units in Toronto in a whole month.
Pre-con. Yeah.
Like this is so bad. I don't think people
Nothing.
really realize. And by the time people
Zero.
actually do
Might as well
something
be
about
zero.
it,
Yeah.
well, it'll end up being
Somebody
zero,
like some big builder bought like personally three of his own units. And it was
right?
just
His
like,
friends bought a
you know what I
couple
mean? Like,
units,
there you go. I
right?
got three units sold. Yeah. I mean, we sold three. We got three units this weekend, actually. It's pretty good.
But I think it's gonna be it's gonna again, I think we see a divergence again at some point. Like I think the resale market, not condos, but houses, like it
Yeah.
finds its way. And I still can't imagine that there's too many pockets that have so many options, right? Like maybe something has two
Yeah.
houses, right?
A good product in a good neighborhood.
Like
Yeah.
I just don't think there's that much of it. So it's like at some point prices maybe they're there, maybe that's what all those pre-approvals are, is like people are like, you know what, I'm in strike range now.
Yeah.
uh I'm anticipating another reduction in rate maybe, and like there's some affordability out
I'm
there.
ready to rock. I'm
I
ready to
just
rock.
unfortunately I'm starting to see what Trent has been saying since we started the goddamn show, TK.
Who's that? Who's Trent?
The Trent, man. Like I'm really
Oh,
starting to see that prices have some more uh ways down because the wages aren't going to come up, and
yeah.
there's no other option unless they print money into oblivion again, which could happen. I mean, even
What do you mean? They've started.
they
That's what's about to
well,
happen.
they started, and you got all these things going on in the world that are definitely going to lead to printing, right?
Yeah.
Like just Nvidia stock price alone and Bitcoin must have all.
There's a lot of volatility there.
There's a lot of
Right?
fear
In
there.
January, they've got the January 16th or something like that. Um, the Bitcoin funds won't be listed anymore on the stock exchange. So that's a
What does
huge
that mean?
obstacle. Look into it. But
I will look into it, TK.
yeah, but the big players like what's his name? Michael Saylor.
Oh yeah.
He's his fund basically, right? No longer is going to have that same premium of like you buy my stock and I take the stock money, the equity to go buy more Bitcoin. So that becomes like this revolving cycle. Now they're saying no, you can't trade anymore. So then everyone, I think the stocks get liquidated, and then basically he's got his Bitcoin still, but is it going to trade at a premium or not? Or it just becomes,
What? So hold on. Michael
basically
Saylor
worth
can't raise money on the stock exchange through micro strategies
as
anymore
of
and then
January
buy Bitcoin?
16th. Yeah.
No
Which
way.
means that you'd have to go to like BlackRock's ETFs and all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
So, but what
That's a big
happens to
change.
him now? Like that guy's Mr.
They got a lot of
Bitcoin.
Bitcoin. Yeah.
They got a lot of Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Oh boy. So,
So
but
raising money becomes a challenge.
well, but raising money and buying more Bitcoin is what made his Bitcoin more
It
valuable,
made the
right?
Bitcoin worth more than Bitcoin
Right?
itself,
Like
right? Yeah.
his giant purchases
Yeah.
just kept
Yeah.
bringing up the price. Oh no.
Yeah.
I feel like that is a bad. like maybe this is the rug pull for Bitcoin finally. That's and like,
I don't know.
how can we really? I mean, I don't want to get into a whole Bitcoin
No,
debate, but it's
and we
like,
gotta go. We
TK,
gotta wrap it up.
this
So
pen is
yeah,
worth more than a Bitcoin. I'll sell it to you tomorrow.
okay.
Here's what, at
Thank you.
least there's like, you can write with it for fuck's sakes,
Yeah.
TK.
There's some cool stuff going on out there. Who's doing that? Is it PayPal or somebody's doing some Bitcoin stuff. Oh, Square. Square's doing Bitcoin purchases now, which is pretty cool. Certain things.
You can use Bitcoin to buy stuff through
In-person
Square,
retailers. Yeah, in-person retailers. So you can have your phone and you can tap on the Square to purchase.
and you're sending Bitcoin, or it's a
Yeah.
conversion thing, like they're converting it
No
into
idea.
dollars.
No idea. But you're
You can use
they
your
must be
Bitcoin.
converting, but you can use your Bitcoin. Yeah.
Who the hell wants to use their Bitcoin? That's the whole thing. It's like
Yeah.
using gold. Like, who the
Yeah.
hell
Yeah. Yeah.
wants to pay in gold?
I'll give you three shanks of gold for your
Right?
sweater.
Here, let me just shave off a little piece for the coffee. Right?
Well, folks, you've heard it here.
What did you
You can
hear?
guarantee that anything that comes out of our mouths is gospel. It's true. It's right from the horse's mouth. And that every single week we'll bring you the best, we'll bring you the worst. We'll make sure that we tell you the truth. And that follow us, check out our channel, leave a comment, like, subscribe, hit the bell, check out Darryl's Substack,
Thank you.
and that's it. We'll see you next week.
Well, don't forget to make an appointment with TK.
And sure, and check out the merch store because it'll be an active link in today's show, maybe.
Definitely not TK, but maybe at some point in the future. If you
Okay.
want something, though, we still have t-shirts now, TK. You can get a vintage Canadian Real Estate Show t-shirt. We
Okay.
should raffle off those red jackets. Maybe we should bring back the red jackets, TK. I think people want the red jackets.
Anybody 40 short?
There you go. Is that what it is? No, it's
Well,
like
it's fine.
Amazon Medium or something.
All right.
Well tailored. TK,
Hasta luego.
thank you for doing this today. Appreciate it.
No problem.
Thanks for letting me on the show.
You're welcome. You're welcome back next week.